demo showcases the PMU capabilities of the NF120A pin electronics digital I/O module. We will have two demos: force current measure voltage and the force voltage measure current. First, let's look at the PMU features of NF120A. This module is the industry's first PXI 3U size high-performance pin electronics digital I/O module that is specially designed for semiconductor tests. It has 8 channels with per channel, per cycle based bidirectional control. And it also has per pin parametric measurement unit. The voltage range is -2 volt to 6 volt, and that is programmable in 0.6 millivolt step. NF120A digital I/O module also has pin electronics functions of driver, comparator, and active load, commonly known as DCL. And the active load is programmable up to a maximum of ±12 milliamps. NF120A digital I/O module works with National Instruments FlexRail FPGA module. As you can see from the diagram, on the right we have an NI FlexRail FPGA module that should be inserted into the PXI chassis. On the left, we have NF120A digital I/O module that should be mounted to get on the front of FlexRail module. This slide shows the detailed specifications of PMU. NF120A has per pin PMU, which means it has 8 channels of PMU. The force voltage range is -2 volt to 6 volt, and it supports 5 current ranges from 25 milliamp up to the smallest 2 microamp. For DCL, it features a 14-bit DAC, and for PMU, it features a 16-bit DAC. Both DACs offer excellent linearity. On the right, there is a table that details the range as well as resolution of force voltage measure current or force current measure voltage. Now, let's move on to the actual demonstration. I will now explain the hardware setup for this demo. In front of you, we have an NI 8-slot PXI chassis with an embedded controller that runs Windows XP. In one of the slots, we have installed NI PXI FlexRail FPGA module. You cannot see this module because on the front end of the module, we have mounted NF120A digital I/O module. This is the power input for the digital I/O module, and this module has 8 digital I/O channels as well as some other utility channels. For the PMU demo, we are now using channel 1 of this digital I/O module, and this cable actually goes to a DUT load, which for the demo purpose, we are connecting it to a 1.2 kilo ohm resistor. Now let's run the LabVIEW software program. I click the run arrow to run the LabVIEW software program. Over here, we select the device NF120A, just like you would do when selecting any DAQ devices. Since this digital I/O module has 8 channels, and right now in our demo setup, the resistor, the load is connected to the channel 1. So we select channel 1. This is the current range. We set it as 2 milliamps. In the first example, we will force the voltage of 1.2 volts and try to measure the current. So over here on the right, we need to select the measurement channel. So since the load is connected to channel 1 as well, we select channel 1 in measurement channel. Then the measurement mode, of course, we select measure current in this case. Okay. The next thing I will do is to click the force button to force 1.2 volts into the load. As you can see from the table below, now we are forcing the voltage of 1.2 volts. Okay, now I'm going to click the measure button to measure the current. You can see the value returned is 1.03 milliamps. We are connecting a 1.2 k ohm resistor to the output of channel 1. So if you are forcing 1.2 volt, the expected current is in the range of 1 milliamp. You can try to click the measure button again to take the second reading, and this time it is returning 1.03 milliamp as well. In fact, when we are forcing voltage to the device, we can also measure the voltage as force. So over here, I select measure voltage. So we do a measurement again. We click. Then from the table you can see it is returning the voltage that is being forced to the device. Now for the second example, I'm going to show you force current and the measure voltage. So there's no other setting change, but on the left I have to select force current. Okay. Let's say I force 1.2 milliamp current into the device. So on the right, we keep the settings unchanged. We want to measure the voltage. Based on the calculation, a 1.2k ohm resistor with a 1.2 milliamp current, we should expect to see 1.4 volts that's being measured. We click the force button to force the current into the device, which is 1.2 milliamp. Now we measure the voltage. We click the measure button. You can see the voltage return is 1.42 volts. We try to take the second reading. We click the measure button again. It is returning 1.42 volt as well. Similarly, when forcing current, we can do current measurement as well, just to check whether we are forcing the correct current. So I select measure current from the mode here and click measure button. It is now returning the current that's being forced into the device, which is 1.2 milliamp. If you want to do PMU functions such as force current measure voltage, force voltage measure current for other channels, all we need to do is just to select other channels from here as well from the measurement channel. That concludes the demonstration for the PMU function of NF1208 digital module.